I've been in Katowice 2 times. Like for one time was for IEM the finals, and the other time was for WCS season 3 in the last year. And both times I really had a great events in Poland because the fans, the crowd was really excited about our matches, and I could feel it. They're enthusiastic. Well, unfortunately, I just lost at round of 4 and round of 8 each. But for this time, I really want to win in front of Polish fans. Out of all the 32 players, Lambo is kind of unknown. So it could be like some people might think he's unknown, and probably that means he's not good. But at the same time, because he's unknown, we don't know what will happen. Like some people may call it upset, but maybe it's not upset for him at all. So since I have no idea about how good he is, I will be ready for everything, and I will do like really my best. Yes, as I said before, I just made it the round of 4 last time, but in like at this on the stage. I mean, the stage is really big, and I wanted to win the tournament right there, but I failed. And fortunately, I have another chance right here, and I really, hopefully, win this tournament.
Round of 16 time, baby. Looking forward to this as we have 16 players remaining ready to battle. And the first one is going to be Polt versus Dayshi in an episode that we've seen a lot of times.
Oh,
France
man.
versus Korea again. This time, I think it's heavily favoring Korea. Sometimes it starts to swing the other way, and we will have another one later today we'll talk about then. But Dayshi versus Polt, I'm quite excited for this. I know you are a passionate Terran player.
Oh,
Passionate for Terran.
so much passion.
So much passion.
A lot of it.
Unimmeasurable amounts.
Unbridled,
It's
you would say.
oozing out of
If,
you right
if we
now.
tried to broadcast all my passion, we'd just crash all the encoders. Everything would break. We have to cancel the production. It'd be, we can't.
No.
It's tragedy.
So we
Be
don't.
Contained.
But I hope to see your passion flow through in your discussions on this matchup at hand, because it is
Yeah.
an interesting one. Polt has, as the video kind of said, been a little bit quiet in terms of results and performances in Legacy of the Void so far. Then again, there hasn't been that many tournaments for him to compete in yet.
Yeah. Well, he skipped out. He skipped out on DreamHack Leipzig as well.
Yes.
It's
to
March.
prepare for
Like,
Taipei.
It's still
slow
so
roll.
early in the year,
No,
you know?
he should have won
This guy is
literally
such a
everything.
beast. Like,
It's
I
been
got-
5 months since the game's been released.
Then let's ask ourselves. Let us ask ourselves
Was
why.
it not released in November? We're not in March? Am I wrong?
How many?
November,
Sean.
December, January, February, March?
how many
I
big
mean,
tournaments
4, I
have there
guess?
had?
It's like 3 days into March, and it wasn't the
So
beginning of
it's not
November,
full.
but yeah.
This has devolved quickly. I mean, if we talk about Paul and all the qualifiers for this, if he's as good as, his reputation says, he should have won all of them. He should have swept everything. Should have crushed everyone, maybe dropped series to Hydra in the finals of these qualifiers. But he's had a lot of blood drawn from him from North American players in the last few months.
There's
In
that
particular,
passion.
he's lost maps to other I believe, Protoss players and Zergs as well. He hasn't been invincible. He's actually, like, to many people's surprise, been not happy with TvP. He's actually been very vocal about it on his stream and such. But Terran versus Terran, it's hard to not favor him in this matchup, because as much as Polt's
Yeah.
maybe not the champ that we're kind of expecting him to be so far, Dayshi has not put up any of the results that would make us think he would take him down anyway.
Yes.
Not
It-
most recently, I would say.
Yeah,
In the TvT matchup, Polt has always been very strong.
Yeah.
It's historically his strongest matchup, I do believe. He's a god of this matchup. He's really, really strong. I definitely favor him coming into this one. But also TvT in general is one of my favorite matchups. I think PvP is slightly ahead of that, but they're competing right now. I don't know if you guys saw TY versus Alive over in the SSL.
Yeah.
That was one of the most entertaining games I've ever watched so far for Legacy of the Void. So I hope we get a bit more of that. It's going to be a best of 5 between these two fantastic players.
And we can check in with the bracket real fast as well, just so you can see if you're tuning in now how these players have progressed so far. And it's been an interesting road, an entertaining one for everyone in their own regard, making it to the round of 16. But Polt went through Lambo, 3 games to 1. He did lose a game. And Dayshi clean sweeped against Drogo, 3-0 in a very, very impressive set of games. And of course, all the other games we'll be covering today and tomorrow before moving on to the quarterfinals. But going back to Polt and Dayshi, you know, Terran versus Terran, very similar to what Valdez says, has historically given some exciting matches. The mech wars, the you know, hour-long games that are consistently drops and army movement. We've also had some bad ones.
I was gonna say, as cool as all of that was, like halfway through 2015, all of that went away when like merry-go-round got added into the map pool, and like these maps where the gas first kind of really switched TvT up. But in Legacy of the Void, Terran versus Terran is all about aggression. There's almost no scenario where trading early units for workers is bad. You want to be constantly in your opponent's face. Mech is completely out of the question. No one does it that wants to win at least. And it's a purely mechanical, getting more units than your opponent, getting them in their face, and then making, you know, the big play where you put all your medevacs, you put all your chips in one basket with the tanks in the air, and just drop them and go for big pushes. So it's going to be fast, it's going to be explosive. And frankly, if Dayshi doesn't play a really solid series, I could see him getting completely crushed very fast.
Let's say then that both players play at, you know, optimal levels. They both play at a good level from their own perspective. How many times out of 10 is Dayshi going to win, would you say? Like how skewed is this matchup, would you say?
1 or 2 times, unfortunately. But the
Really?
nice thing, I think, especially kind of in the TvT matchup, but just in StarCraft in general, is neither player are going to play perfectly. Like, and you're kind of, Dayshi especially is one of those multitasking Terran players. So is Polt, obviously, so it's going to be really fun in that way. They both like to kind of tilt the other guy with a lot of actions and try to get them off their comfort zone. Dayshi has been showing high level. I mean, I go back to how much we were ranting and raving about his chance to beat Petit Drogo yesterday, and a lot of that's because of hard work. And while the European scene's not flushed with amazing Terrans, I mean, I can't name any of them, any good Terrans from Europe at all right now. It's a joke to the most. Never mind. Thank you. This is super awkward, but recovering on the feet.
He was laughing over there. I saw him.
Someone's laughing.
Someone in the chat's laughing. He's got a cheeky grin on his face.
My point is, Dayshi does have a very good TvT. Again, we kind of always go back to Bomber at Home Story Cup where he upset him. I thought a lot of that at the time was because he had a very good builder that was kind of like throwing Bomber for a loop.
Yeah.
I go to Nate's analysis now and I say I don't know that that's necessarily available to him now. So it's kind of like he has to outplay Polt, which I think drives his chances down pretty low.
I can't help but feel, though, before we get to the predictions here, is that Dayshi, very emotional player, that does definitely swing his performance levels. And now that the round of 32 is out the way, and I think that was his biggest barrier to cross, I think, in this tournament, was to play for that $6,000, to play against pros, to play against a friend, a player that he knows. I think he's like, well, whatever, this is already a massive victory for me. I'm going to go all out against Polt.
I think that's a really good point, Sean.
It
that
should,
$6,000 pocketed is really good.
It should help, but this tournament also has a lot of money and means a lot in terms of the being able to go to the global playoffs at the end of the year.
Gonna come for.
And now that means that the more this tournament matters, the better Polt is. And historically, that's just how it's always been for him. He always performs when it matters.
Yeah, and we talked about the round of 32 a lot, but these players were specifically preparing for one matchup, and we know that Dayshi was preparing to fight his friend, the Protoss player, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to be ready to TvT Polt right now?
Within 24 hours.
I honestly don't think so.
Okay.
And if I had to predict, I'd actually go with a 3-0 for Polt.
Oh,
you do have to predict. Is that your prediction?
That's my prediction. I put it on the table right now. I was not wasting any time because I'm really passionate about that. I really think it's going to be a 3-0.
Wow. Okay. Nate?
Yeah, Polt should clean
3-0?
sweep 3-0.
Wow.
Yeah, Polt should sweep. As much as I like Dayshi, I'd love to see an upset, but I think that this is a tournament that matters too much for Polt to play badly in, and Polt has just been too good for too long.
Totally agree.
I'm going to cut the hype train in half right now. Y'all must have forgot.
Let's get to Muslim
Marine
over here.
Lord, the emperor of the French scene for right now,
Yes.
all killed Team Korea. And I believe Dayshi to not be too terribly of a far cry from that, which means he's going to drive this match to a terribly close score of 3-1 in favor of Polt. Boom! Logic!
Thank you very much, In Control. You've heard it from these guys. It is heavily in favor of Polt. Let's go over to the commentary team to see which player is making it to the quarterfinals.
I've still got chills from Jeff's knowledge bomb just then. Like that big realization is, it's not sit with me. I'm like rattled right now trying to introduce this cast to Muslim.
Just his sick knowledge bombs and his little attacks, and there I was going to talk about Nathanius' huge passion and his little package, you know.
There's a lot to talk about from that analysis desk. Those guys have a lot to say about a lot of things.
They do certainly. But yeah, talking about like just this matchup in particular, these guys both have histories, not directly with one another, but Dayshi's one of the only Europeans, like foreign Terrans in fact, that's beaten a Korean on LAN, and pretty convincingly, and he did it so with one of the best at the time, which was Bomber, which I believe the score was either 3-0 straight up, or he won 3 games back to back somehow. But Polt's beat one of the guys that's been around since the start, but we'll introduce his players.
We will indeed. In the bottom spawn here of Dust Towers from Team Millennium, the Frenchman, it is Dayshi.
Sleeves rolled up, he's serious.
That is super serious, if I've ever saw one. And I believe he's not on CM Storm anymore, so we're just going to call this guy Captain America. It is Polt.
One thing I'd love to talk about with Polt, though, and we tend to do this with a lot of players that have been around from the start, and we did exactly the same with MVP, but Polt comes from a time when MVP was really, really sick hot. But he also comes from a time like MMA and such. And within that circle of the 3 Terrans, they were literally the 3 best in the world. MMA would beat MVP, MVP would beat Polt, but Polt would beat MMA. And Polt was the guy that won the Super GSL tournament for 100 grand way back when. Then he moved to America, and people are always like, it's Polt, you know, he's moved to America, he's getting slower, he's getting worse. He never got worse. And we tend to give like Tasia a bit of grief that he never did well in WCS, but there was always one man standing in his way. Even when it was like Summer of Tasia, when Tasia couldn't be stopped, it was always Polt. So Polt, not only has he been a great player for so long, we always seem to say, he's not that great. He's always been a phenomenal TvT player. He's extremely smart in this matchup.
I mean, for me, Nathanius hit the nail on the head when he said that Polt is that guy that he is never going to be happy with round of 16 in a tournament that matters this much, with this much prestige, money, and points on the line. He is... I expect Polt to be top 4, to be honest. He is an incredibly good Terran. I mean, there's only 3 Terrans left, but what a group is like. We still got Marine Lord as well as these 2 guys. Unfortunately, one of them is about to be eliminated, but Polt and Marine Lord, or Dayshi and Marine Lord, are a couple of gods in this matchup, so as Terrans in all matchups, so
they are both very different in this matchup.
Yeah.
Dayshi is a man that has greatly benefited from the F2 army hotkey because he has such good macro and he has very good mouse micro, and by that I mean boxing and splitting up his units is absolutely great, but he's truly benefited from just being able to rally units at his opponent. But TvT isn't a matchup where you greatly benefit from that. You need all your units on different hotkeys, and what is Dayshi going for here? Is this going to be a proxy starport?
This looks like something a little bit creative here, and there it is, the proxy starport going down for Dayshi.
Wow, and that is incredibly close. How has he actually positioned the starport? Does he have enough space for the tech lab? No. So it's going to be most likely either a medevac to get into that base, which could deal a lot of damage. That medevac comes out insanely fast.
Or Liberator, or something crazy like that.
But either way, he scouted that his opponent went for like a gasless fast expand, which isn't something you play against. Oh, he cannot lose. Oh!
Lost the Reaper, and there goes his knowledge of what's happening in Polt's main.
That is huge, though. You cannot lose any units. With this push that gets into the main, one of the benefits of it...
That's medevac for sure.
You medevac the Hellions into the base, but the Reapers can hop up, so you actually can get a good 10... Whoa, Liberator?
Dude, I like corrected myself. I'm like, it's a Liberator. No, forget it, man. Don't be silly. It can't be. He's making Hellions. Surely this is a medevac Hellion drop or something, but no. It is going to be Liberators and Hellions on the ground.
Okay, defending Liberators. Now, you know, Protoss whine about this. I'm going to lose 2 Stalkers every time, but Stalkers have 6 range. They can blink under that Liberator. Marines, they have 5 range, and trying to get onto a Liberator when every one of your units that can hit that gets 1 shot. And he's even kind of making this tough for Marines to get round to the back there, so yeah, he's going to start dealing damage to this mineral line with a Liberator very, very quickly. And that's a nice move by Dayshi, because upon seeing that your opponent's gasless fast expanding, hey, he's not going to have a factory or a starport up, most importantly, for quite some time.
Oh, Reaper's coming in here to the back expansion of Dayshi and doing some damage. Haven't quite got the kills yet, but here's the big story here, the big Liberator of the Sky. How much can he get done?
And a few SCVs are falling.
He's not reacted yet.
No, and Dayshi in supply is climbing a little bit ahead. Within regards to worker supply, he's not mining with a lot of these SCVs either, so very, very equal here. And these Reapers also did... Oh, gets back there. If he can run into... Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, this is so bad for Dayshi.
Now they're regenerating under the Liberator. He's still dealing damage here. He's also producing a medevac with this, so he's going to be able to get the Hellions in the natural as well. This is really cool play by Dayshi.
And double expanding behind this, just in case.
Oh, does lose a Reaper.
Yeah, the Reaper there.
Oh, gets a few kills with
in
it,
range of the Marines. Bit unfortunate there for Polt, but he does still have the Liberator. A lot of mining. In fact, Dayshi not even mining from the safe patches here. He's killed so many SCVs with this Liberator and with the Reapers on the ground. What a creative opening here for Dayshi.
Oh my lord. Barbecue, and Dayshi is melting Polt at this point. He's really working with him. And the supplies, even though it doesn't look too bad, Dayshi behind this went for 3cc. A tank? Wow, that is the most optimistic tank I've ever seen. But yeah, we'll see what he actually does with that. There is a Cyclone on the field. Did take a big hit from the Liberator, but that's not really a unit that's going to come in too handy. And are there 2 Liberators? There's 2 Liberators on the field now.
Wow, so he's going to try and cover both mineral patches here and use perhaps just the tank on its own, tank evac, and the couple of Marines on the ground to try and just tear apart Polt here. And so far, so good.
Oh, he killed the Cyclone.
Oh my god, he did. So the Liberator would have got it.
The Liberator got the Cyclone. Look at this, resources lost. And
oh my god, that's huge.
If we can check out the income tab as well, Daishi's drone. Oh yes, so 31 harvesters against 26. Yeah, you're going to lose this Liberator, but I think damage has already been done. Oh! Well,
yeah, that's a donation to the Feed Polt Foundation, but
and Polt needs moves like that. He needs mistakes from Dayshi at this point, because we look at those red huge squares on the other side of the map. Those are command centers. Those are orbital commands in place.
Yeah, so he's on 3cc right now, and Polt's been locked down in his main. He's just now breaking out, though. A bunch of the Marines coming down here. No more medevac, and he will clean it up.
That was pretty decent, though, by Dayshi. It was kind of bad focusing the depot while the army was still marching down the ramp, but everything else, stim-wise, he's actually ahead. Economy-wise, he's so far ahead. And army-wise, Daishi's just ahead, man. This is the only bad thing is that this starport is so out of position, but it's almost worth just making another starport on your side of the map. But he's going to start making Vikings from this one. Daishi's in a great position here. 3rd barracks on the... In fact, he's going up to 4 barracks. Yeah, this is really, really solid. We all thought, or rather, the analyst desk thought, I won't group myself in with those. They thought it was going to be 3-0 sweeps and
I'm
such.
going to be completely honest and say that I was agreeing and nodding my head while they were talking about Polt, and agreeing as well. I mean, he's had so much prestige. He has a consistency in these tournaments that matter so much. And I mean, Dayshi doesn't have any huge Terran scalps recently in these tournaments.
Yes, but when we talk about players in the past, it's passed from a different game altogether.
Exactly. That's very, very true.
TvT is a different beast. And every mirror matchup is a different beast, but TvT, it just got way, way, way more volatile, way more insane.
Yeah. It switched from the chess match and the slow-paced strategy that was TvT into a very aggressive, crazy sort of matchup, with the tank evac being the biggest contributing factor.
But yeah, people tend to just solely focus on the tank evac, but no, this matchup's insane right from the get-go. And here, Dayshi takes a strategical lead, but we'll see what Polt can do to get back into this. And
yeah. Drops is a good option, but...
he's the one that has to make moves. Dayshi, he is ahead. Do not mistake that whatsoever. So he's ahead, so he just has to make sure he doesn't take damage. And Polt, the ball's in his court. He has to make the moves. Does he get a 3rd CC? Does he try and deal damage? Dayshi's defense is impregnable at this point.
Yeah, he's pretty locked down. 2 siege tanks on the low ground there. Some Marines in the main as well to deal with any kind of drop play.
Or even looking the natural here, we have Marines ready for a drop if it went besides the 3rd base. So yeah. Dayshi, he's on point.
He's all over the place.
And you know, that's such a lovely position to be in when you know what position you're in. Often you're in the dark because you're working with not full information here, but he knows how far ahead he is. He even delays this 3rd base. And now that he knows his opponent's gone for this 3rd base, is he going to delay it? Oh, the dying breath.
Yeah, not critical, but still very annoying. Small delays matter so much at this high level. Oh, Polt's going to go for a Doom drop. This reminds me of the TvT of old.
This is the TvT of old. He is landing right on a siege tank, but takes it out almost immediately.
And Dayshi's actually got a very big flank here with Marines on the low ground and from the high ground. Does he have enough, though? That's 2 siege tanks there, and they're all alive still.
Oh, no. Polt's doing it. Somehow he found an entrance in this Doom drop. Not even with tank evacs. He's in the base, and he's on the production.
He smashed a hole through the defenses of Dayshi, and he's all over the production with Stim Marines and 2 siege tanks still not ulted. He can't pick them up, though, anymore. And he's going to start getting cleaned up. There's the one empty medevac picking up 1 tank. 2 go down, though, and a whole bunch of Marines. He's deflected, but he did 10 SCVs worth of damage there.
What an evening of the situation. But look at the macro. It's actually Polt that's climbing in minerals. It's Dayshi that's staying straight. And I talked about this before. One of the things that Dayshi benefited from in the evolution of StarCraft is the F2 army hotkey, because one thing that he's never ever messed up is his macro, which in TvZ for a very long time he would have huge armies always outside your base.
And speaking of macro, he's about to have 1-1 way before any of those upgrades are finished for Polt as well, so his Marines are going to have a significant advantage for a bit.
Certainly are. Supply-wise, he's slightly ahead. He's got all the depots already made. He's also invested in that 2-2 already, which, by no mistake, that is very expensive. So that's quite a lead, and that's a time clock that he has over Polt here. Even producing a second factory. In fact, they're both getting second factories, so they both realize how vital a tank count is. But look at this. They both produce their sensor towers almost in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Oh, this medevac has been spotted.
It may, yeah, it got through the Viking there, and it will drop into the mineral line, so going to get a couple SCV kills here. Spreading out the drop, though, and a second drop heading towards a third. There is a turret, but nothing else except for the siege tank at the ramp there, just out of range.
Oh, and he does deflect the attack of Polt. That was rather, yeah, ambitious for sure, but these Marines, they're getting damage.
So many SCV kills, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and climbing. Oh! Big pickups there for Dayshi.
Okay, boys.
Yeah.
This is no longer a game. This is Dayshi making a meal of Polt here, and still the harass continues. 18 SCVs down. Polt's aggressive army absolutely slaughtered. Upgrade-wise, he's ahead. Army-wise, he's ahead. Economy-wise, he's ahead. Oh my gosh, Dayshi is mental control of this game.
And he's not even done. Just a small group of units coming in here for these damaged SCVs. More economy damage here from the French Terran, and Polt is starting to scramble here. He's falling apart.
Koreans, you better run at the hands of the Frenchmen right here. They seem to have your number. And Polt, despite looking calm and collected there, he has a lot of work to do to get it back into this game. And Dayshi, he's not, he's unrelenting with this aggression.
This is a huge middle drop here, and there's a lot of Stim Marines. Good reaction there from Dayshi, doesn't lose anything just yet.
Man, this is a game of tennis at this point. They're both reading each other very well and reacting. Look at Polt, he's hunting down those medevacs. He's hoping that Dayshi somewhat slips up with those medevacs and just sends them home. He's ready to grab them, though, at any point.
Dayshi trying to get up to a 4th CC as well, try and, like, when you're ahead, get further ahead, the old Artos is saying, and he has got the money army here, the Tankovacs, about to join the field with a lot of bio, which is about to hit 2-2.
Oh man, once it hits 2-2, that's when the armies go skew with, and here he's taking a fight just before 2-2 finishes. It does finish now.
Unfortunate, but the main story here is the big ball through the middle. That is upgraded. It is ready to go.
Oh, but look how Polt's reading this. He's got so many tanks at the front there from 3 factories, and is this
into the main?
Oh man, I don't think this is the greatest drop ever, and immediately loses his tank. He's losing 2 more. Also, where is the tank being shot from?
Now, it looks like that one on the very corner there, maybe just in, there might be even one further deeper in the main that's hitting that tank on the corner there, but yeah, no, I guess not. It's just, he's got very hurt tanks in the main, a couple left to cover there with a lot of bio ready for any kind of drop play. And Dayshi's trying to do some damage, but Polt so far is deflecting it.
Polt's doing this insanely well. Yes, he's supply blocked to this point. He's lost his starport, which is a significant thing to happen, but Dayshi lost a lot of tanks there for a starport. It's not a good trade.
Yeah. So he didn't have Marines covering the tanks in the main, but I guess he thought that the tanks would be enough. Or usually you see Terrans sort of stay on the low ground here and just shoot the production from there, but I guess he wanted to get a little bit deeper. And speaking of getting deeper, he goes for a drop in the main again, looking for more SCV kills.
Now, it's okay killing SCVs, but as your opponent's reaching 200 supply, the most important thing is your medevac count. And why is your medevac count important? Well, they can carry tanks. As soon as you drop those tanks on your opponent, you give your opponent the option, hey, I run away or I drop him back. And if you drop him back, you're 1.75 seconds behind him because of the tank delay and shot, and you're probably going to lose.
Now, this is starting to even out a bit here. I mean, Dayshi's still ahead in the upgrades, 3-3 on the way, 3-2 on the way for Polt, +2 armor's about to finish. And
look at this army, though, Maynard.
Yeah, wow.
This is a lot of units. 122 army supply against 107, and yeah, we talked about the SCV count being shut, but Polt, he doesn't care at this point. He's got 3 factories producing. What are the mech upgrades for these tanks of Dayshi? I don't believe they're half as high. No, they're actually... Yeah,
so he's about to get +1, and yeah, Polt already has +1 attack on those siege tanks.
Oh my
gosh. Coming through the middle here. Some siege tanks on the high ground are going to decimate this. The Marine force of Polt, and he has to move back. And Dayshi is all over the siege tanks at the moment. Does he have enough to seal the deal? Though it looks like Polt still has plenty of Marines left over. Has to edge back, though. Doesn't want an inefficient trade against these siege tanks.
Those were the saddest Marines of all time. They're just getting absolutely cannoned and shelled by those tanks, but Dayshi holds ground, and he's the one with a 4th base. He's actually the one with superior economy at this point, so Polt, he wanted
on the way.
Yeah, he wanted to take that fight, and he wanted to take it by the horns. He wanted to absolutely lock Dayshi in his base, but Dayshi has a very good tank count himself. This Viking, what a nuisance is he?
Yeah, the Marines have to come here to become the only anti-air for Dayshi, but they are in range of siege tanks here. And it flex the medevacs a little bit. Makes the tank player, a little bit more committal, but yeah, he also has the vision advantage. Like he can deflect the medevac from getting too deep. He's trying to go for a bit of a concave here with the siege tank, but I mean, it's just the one. To be very careful here. One big mistake here, and that could be the deal.
Mech flying absolutely everywhere, and you see that Dayshi's slowly climbing ahead in supply. Polt did actually land a 4th. Is his SV count caught up yet? I think he's still around the 50 mark at this point, which that's decent, but realistically, in Legacy of Void, you want to be around the 60 to 65 number. But this is ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, if this gets caught by Stim Marines, he is going to throw the game, but I mean, it could potentially be the winning move here.
But look, Polt scanned. He scans the whole army. And Dayshi, he knows where the backup is coming from too, so this is where things get really intense.
Polt's kind of stuck in this little channel here, and Dayshi's got a little bottleneck to work with, and he gets a lot of the siege tanks.
4 tanks down instantly, and now it's just Marines fighting the force of Dayshi, but
there's a lot of Marines from Polt. So many, he's getting medevac kills, pressing all the way back, and Dayshi has to go back to the safety of his tank line in the middle of the map here. Polt somehow deflects.
Was it worth it, Dayshi? That is the big question he's asking himself right now, and the fact that Polt is marching towards him, he's got to be scared at this point. That's a lot of tanks, and the whole time, Dayshi's only been producing 2 tanks at a time. He's actually got a 3rd factory there, but it hasn't got a tech log on it, so, mistakes are being made sure, but it's such a chaotic game, and at this point, supply-wise, he still is ahead.
I thought those medevacs were about to go over the Stim Marines there. But yeah, so he's starting to drop the siege tanks, realizes that Polt is trying to swing around and kill the extra bases because he does have a CC advantage over Polt. He's just going to reposition the tanks, get in the position.
You can tell that these players are so well prepped for this, but there's a few things that very much surprise me. You can tell that the difference between Legacy of the Void and Heart of the Swarm, both these players have stopped at 5 barracks so far, so they're both only producing 9 Marines at a time, whereas way more emphasis on the tanks, and rightly so, but the fact that there's not really much air control here, there's just 1 Viking. If you can remove the element of air, then you're in great shape.
He's about to double his Viking count to Muslim, going up to 2.
And rightly so. I mean, Dayshi's quite weak from the top here. But, Vikings. Okay, so they are starting to whip out the Vikings here. That's a great move. Now, what does Polt do? He has to kind of back up. He has to kind of play safe. And, taking a 5th base is Polt. Oh, whoa, Dayshi.
Jeez. Huge amount of Marines going down there, and the medevacs need to pull back to safety. He doesn't want to lose those. They're very important for the tank-evac play.
Important for the tank-evacs, important for the Marines.
Yep,
the Viking count grows for Polt, so that's always lovely. No longer do you need scans, but also you can take out those medevacs rather simply.
Picks up the couple Vikings there, which is actually very critical considering, like you mentioned, the air is so important here. It gives you the vision and knocks back the medevacs. And Polt's going to go for a drop while Dayshi is locked down at the 4th and 5th.
This is great play. You tend to forget about your main base, but 4 medevacs worth of Marines, they can definitely deal damage.
And Dayshi's got tunnel vision here. He scans and he's after this base. Meanwhile, Polt's swinging around. He's about to show up in the sensor tower. But he's going to boost right at the last minute.
Oh man, it's so nail-biting every step of the way. These Marines, they don't want to get close to the tanks without tanks of their own. This drop, though, this is a doom drop.
Yeah, and that is not enough defense here for Dayshi at the moment. Polt dropping with 4 full medevacs of Marines. Dayshi hasn't reacted just yet, and he's starting to lose production.
Polt's positioning here is great. He's attacking the main. He's also going for the economy. The main stops the production. He's also stopping the economy here. And back at home, as long as he can get 4 bases up and he doesn't lose any of his infrastructure, he's actually in great shape. I'm loving Polt's position here. And slowly, this is starting to slip through Dayshi's fingers.
Yeah, Dayshi with a huge economical advantage. He's coming back to trying to deal with this, but he's kind of awkwardly bottlenecked a bit, but he has broken through. Polt engaging Dayshi's Marines on the low ground, still has the advantage with the medevacs as well. No medevacs here for Dayshi. They're all up with his army in the middle.
And look at this. How far is Dayshi supply blocked? He's having to do a lot of things here, producing so many depots. Post-haste, and Polt gets out of there, but the damage is being done.
Indeed. See that they are equal upgrades now, but +3 about to finish for Polt, so once again, they're going to be taken in as a upgrade advantage in the mech.
This is so close, but you can tell that Polt's superior positioning here with siege tanks and such, and just knowing how to meander around the map.
Oh, he's found the weaknesses, every small weakness in Dayshi's infrastructure and where all of his bases are. He's going to be able to punch through and possibly get another CC here. It is a planetary down through tanks, but they're not ready.
Wow, great play by Polt. Just every little misstep that Dayshi does, he takes full advantage of it. And look how he's positioned. In fact, that's way too close to the planetary, taking big hits. But still, great moves by Polt.
Yeah, and Dayshi needs to evacuate here. He doesn't have enough. He is actually forced to give up the middle of the map and pull back to deal with Polt's aggression here. He's taken out another base.
Oh, he thought he could drop on those tanks, but nope, Polt's Marines are there. This is a very healthy mineral line, and while this is going on, there's Marines running into this this base here.
And the CC's going to go down to Muslim that was floated from the main.
This is, oh man, what a comeback by Captain America himself. He looked so over, but...
Oh, that is it, man. Polt is up almost 100 supply, engaging and beating Dayshi on every single angle here. Dayshi has the tanks, but they're just too late to the party, and Polt still with the majority of his army alive and well after 29 SCV kills and killing two CCs as well. Pretty sick.
You know when you hear about TvT and they're like, this matchup's lucky, it's who drops first, it's who... No, it's who positions better, it's who plays better.
It's still quite positional for sure.
Man, Polt just shows you that, hey, look, you're down in SCVs, you're down in army supply, you're down in absolutely everything, but you can still make things happen. Look at the unit loss tab.
Wow.
That is 21,000 compared to 34,000. He is just the super effective Terran player.
Such an important number to look at how effective he's been trading since the early game. Polt knows how to come back. He has a superior TvT, and at the moment is looking to be pretty good in this series. He's about to take game one any second here. Dayshi coming up to the map. He's going to try and trade as well as he can. Polt with so many units though, the tank advantage, the marine advantage, and still with a lot of his army just heading through and circumnavigating Dayshi. This is actually quite nice though.
This is an odd unit composition. The old 3 marine, 9 tank like push that he's doing over here. But
doing what he can with what he's got.
Yeah,
Respect.
but this is way too much now. These siege tanks, they don't even need to siege. He's just marching in there. Where is Polt's defense? I believe it's back over at his 4th. And yeah, he's got enough to hold on here. 180 supply against only the 70 of Dayshi. A heartbreaking loss, but what a fantastic TvT to open up this series.
A TvT masterclass in game number 1 there from Polt, showing us that he is, Dayshi is not happy with game 1. He was so far ahead in that early game, man. He was in an incredible spot.
And you know, we're giving Polt so much darn credit, and rightly so, but you see how frustrated he is, because he knows how far ahead he was. If you gave 2 players of equal skill those positions to work with, obviously Dayshi's position was far, far better, but man, Polt was calm as a cucumber. He moved around the top of the map, he dropped the main base, he had main objectives, and he didn't falter. He set his mind to exactly what he needed to do. I'm going to destroy the economy, I'm going to destroy the infrastructure, I'm going to ignore the army that I cannot defeat, because why would I go up against an army that's going to beat me? I don't. I'm just going to move around and make it very difficult for my opponent, and TvT, wow.
You mentioned Dayshi being an emotional player and it coming into his play.
You're seeing it, aren't you?
It's happening right in front of my eyes, man. I'm looking at this player cam, and he looks borderline tilted here, if not fully fledged. He is very much not happy with how game number 1 went at all. But I mean, I believe in his ability to be able to put up a really good fight here, but I'm definitely feeling like Polt is the superior TvT player at the moment.
Once it gets down into it, but again, there are mistakes that you make in games and you learn from your opponent, right? That's how you learn. Mm-hmm. How often do you play a player that is as smart as Polt is? Like, I said this at the start of our cast here. Polt isn't just any ordinary Terran. He comes from a true lineage of the greatest Terrans ever. He was part of that trio with MMA and MVP of the original great TvT players.
The Holy Trinity, man.
Really is, and even when Tasia's been in his unstoppable streaks, it's always been Polt that's there to stop him. Within regards to European Terrans, Dayshi's definitely great, and we got to see how smart he was with that build order choice. And a few things did go wrong for him. losing the first Reaper at the start of that game, it could have been 3 Reapers in that base instead of just 2. The Liberator follow-up was beautiful. Would his strategy have changed if he didn't lose that first Reaper into a medevac?
And also that second Liberator was shut down completely, didn't even get a single shot
Flew
off.
right into those Marines.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's a few things that definitely worked against Dayshi for sure. But we can't count him out. Like, he was definitely ahead in that game, and
yeah,
what a great series we've got ahead of us.
It's an explosive start to the round of 16, quite literally, because there was a lot of siege tanks in that game. But I mean, I cannot wait for game number 2, and I'm almost upset that we need to wait greater than 10 seconds for the next game to start. But that is the way of things. Players need to take a time. I mean, we saw Dayshi going to go collect himself and get ready for this series because he is, after game number 1, visibly frustrated.
Yeah, he's red, man. You almost saw the tears in his eyes at how frustrated he is at himself. Yeah, and Dayshi is an emotional guy. If you've ever followed him on Twitter, it comes out, man.
He has a lot to say about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and look, the Beast, he's unleashed. You can tell he's ready, but despite all that emotion that we saw after that loss, he still looks focused and determined.
He's a professional StarCraft 2 player, man, and those are the players that I've seen in esports that can really reset their minds and get the job done if it comes down to it. And he's going to definitely need to reset and shut out game number 1, pretend it never happened, and start playing all over again to try and tie it up. In the top left here, from Team Millennium, the French player, this is Dayshi.
Really good opening by him in the first game.
That's right, and in the top right here, this is Polt. So close air spawns on Leralac.
Yes, and the third base of Dayshi is closer to his opponent, which means you're far more vulnerable. So if this game does go on to taking a third, it's much better to have your third further away from your opponent. That being said, sieging behind the rocks if you don't kill the rocks for Polt against the third of Dayshi is also something you can abuse. So there are advantages and disadvantages to these spawns, but it all relies on the openings and what these players are going to do.
Well, we saw that Polt went for gas first there. He's actually going 2 gas.
This is so in fact wow, gas first into another gas?
Yeah. This looks like a really quick starport or something like that.
That's ballsy, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is one of the maps that you can be ballsy on. Your opponent doesn't know exactly where you spawn, so are you ever going to experience those proxy 2-Rex Reapers outside your base? Most likely not. But if you did and you were Polt right now, you'd be a very sad man. That being said, he's going to scout his opponent first as well, so
yeah,
he's the one doing something kind of Larry, and he gets to scout his opponent quickly.
And there's that first Reaper, and I have a feeling I'm going to see more than that. Yeah, the single SUV coming up here and having a look up the ramps. He doesn't get into the main, does get denied the vision.
So we have the gas first against gas first, but Dayshi's opting for Marines, and he's going to be going up to a starport pretty quickly, so it's going to be Marines. Then depending on what he chooses to do, whether it's Hellion or Widowmine out of his factory, could be medevac opening. We see that he's not actually thrown down his second gas yet. As I say that, now things can change.
So what are we looking at? So with this second gas here, what are the options for Dayshi?
One thing that I like to do, I like to make a tech lab on the factory, switch it up, go for a medevac, but while you're making the medevac, you also get cloak with the starport on the tech lab. But again, things can change at the drop of a hat. So a starport does go down. I believe Hellions are going to be starting to be produced by Dayshi too at this point.
With a second Reaper, which is not a huge shock. I kind of felt like there'd be multiple Reapers here with this. So with the Hellions with multiple Reapers, always a dangerous force in the early game in TvT. He's going to be sending them across the map now to see what he can get done.
And Dayshi, he's ready for that.
Yeah, he is ready. He's spread out here. This is a tough map for Reapers as well. Like you kind of just have to use this little lip here, or that lip there, as Funk is showing us. There's really no side entrance. Oh, caught by surprise. Does lose the Reaper to the Hellion.
Instant loss there. Now
he's rethinking it. He has to go back home.
How many Reapers is Polt making? Is it just 2 maximum? Okay, so losing one of your 2 Reapers. That's significant.
Really sucks. He's got the tech lab there on the starport, making a Viking first, though.
I like that. And yeah, he's going for the cloak. So this is one of the things that I didn't exactly say this build, but using the tech lab on a starport while making a different unit other than a Banshee, it's became very popular in this matchup. And Dayshi, is he going to have 3 Hellions out with this push and 6 Marines? Yeah. Okay, and you've lost. So he's got an equal Hellion count, but he's got 6 Marines instead of having 1 Reaper here. Is he going to get this Reaper too? Is it going to go?
Nearly. So close. One more blast of that Hellion fire and it would have been gone. But the main story here is that he has a medevac with 6 Marines and a Hellion in there. And he's dropping in. The Viking is in position. The Marines need to all come out to help with this force.
Oh.
And Polt is forced to pull SCVs.
Oh, the medevac! Oh,
Medevac got taken down with some Hellions in there.
Oh man, talk about being shut down. You just dropped those Marines
my
in there.
God, wow.
They got left to die. Not one Hellion died either.
The small icing on the bitter cake here for Dayshi is that he got 5 SCVs.
Wait, did this Reaper that left, did he kill the SCV that was building the command center?
Oh, he did
my
too.
God.
Polt. My God.
He is an emotional guy, remember? And
Yeah.
this is happening to him.
This would trigger a Terran any day of the week. And he is, yeah, I mean, Polt. It looks so dangerous from Dayshi. I'm like, how is Polt gonna go against this drop here? And he completely smacked it back, and he has a Banshee with Cloak.
Jesus. I don't think there's much.
Raven on the way.
Raven on
This
the
is gonna
way.
be great.
Yeah, so okay, so you're not completely dead against the Banshee. You've seen it now. You've seen it fly across the map, but what are you going to do against this push? This is a tank. This is Hellions. This is Marines. What do you have to stop this? And he's building his CC on the low ground.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
This is a really freaking good player going up against a really good player, but Polt, he's seeing every weakness out of what Dayshi's doing. He's ready for it. He's doing everything he needs to do. Look at this CC. This is the saddest CC in the world right
It's a cancelled CC if he knows what's good for him, because that is going to go down. And there's the Marines. He's got his own siege tank.
But with this this Raven being at the front and the Viking being at the front. Okay, look at that blue little spot on the minimap. How did Dayshi allow this to happen? He saw that Banshee, or at least it was in his vision, so it was available for him to see.
No
and now,
turret. The Raven's out of position.
oh no. And the Marines are lined up too. Polt's hunting him down. Dayshi's not mining while all of this is going on. Yes, you can run back to your base, but in fact, he might get some really sick shots off with his siege.
Oh
he
yeah,
does.
really flustered on the ramp here, and the siege tanks of Dayshi are deflecting the ground army.
And his own Banshee,
Wow.
actually. Dayshi survives. What is that happening?
He does indeed. There's the Raven with his
depot?
own Viking.
Yeah, you know, even Captain America, even this player that we've been highlighting as great at this point, his attack is deflected. He did not make a CC. Is his CC done, or is it just started? It just started.
It's actually more efficient trades for Dayshi as this game continues into the mid.
That was very sloppy by Polt. And what is the health on that Rand? In fact, let's look at this Banshee, but there's questions I got asking myself. Okay, this scan, it's not going to work out. He's not going to kill that Banshee. That is a very, very bad scan. Dayshi's now in good shape.
Polt has 2 Banshees here on the low ground, no doubt to deal with the siege tanks of Dayshi.
Oh, look at this. The 2 Banshees run in, but hello, I got a Viking and a Banshee to say hi. And look, the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, now there's another CC that's looking pretty sad over in Polt Town.
And I do want to see the health of that depot in Dayshi's base, even though it's so insignificant. Top left, how long was he attacking this for? That's
A long
pretty
time.
low.
Yeah.
That's a good 5 shots on that depot, which that in itself is a good 2.5 SCVs dead. So, man, that was a mistake by Polt, and now this game's evened out a lot.
It has. Both players a little bit bloodied and bruised from those earlier exchanges, but it has become an even game. Oh, that's it. The nice little tank pick off there. Does trade a Banshee for it, though.
Whoa, this game, we're 7.5 minutes into a TvT, and they're both still
And
on
it's already
one
like
base.
4,000 resources lost each already.
This is absolutely nuts. You don't really get TvTs like this. Polt was really overeager as he pushed up that ramp, and those 2 siege tanks were sieged up. They just flat cannoned that whole army, a good 3 or so volleys, and that's enough to absolutely shred your army. Polt's going to try and get damage done here. There are so many Banshees on the field for both of these players.
Going to try and circumnavigate the Raven of Dayshi, getting into the main.
Where are the Vikings?
I think there they are. There's the Raven. Coming in now. See how many SCV kills he can get. He's got 3 so far, going up to 4.
5, 6. Oh no.
Oh, that last volley nearly got 7, but it is going to be 6 kills with that Banshee. Not too bad at all for Polt.
And Polt needs damage like that, and he is ahead in SCVs for sure. His CC is now done, but it's not an orbital yet, so in that respect he's behind. Look how both these players are adding on lots of Vikings though at this point. This is really, really cool. They're both trying to get that air control. The difference between how they deal with the Banshee, Polt was just in position for it.
Yeah. Dayshi left that opening, and giving a player like Polt openings is you're gonna have a bad time. But Dayshi finding more SCV kills. He has a second Banshee coming up here. The other one is most definitely shot down. There's a scan, but yeah, that was a missed scan there from Polt for sure, and Dayshi gets away with it. Banshee getting across. And does it have enough energy to escape? Yes, it does.
Buys him time though, so now the other Raven, or the Raven can run back. So it served its purpose, did that scan. Stim on the way for both players, very, very equally along there. A barracks not being produced. Bit of a mistake. Oh, this Cyclone. I didn't think this Cyclone was going to be useful, but that's going to be a dead Viking almost immediately there.
Yeah, I'm sure he really, really wanted the
Ooh.
Raven there, but yeah, locked onto the Viking. That turret's just going to go now. Of course, the Raven turret did get touched up a little bit.
Doesn't last very long, that
No,
doesn't
not anymore. That's right.
So lots of SVs coming down, and right now it's turning into a two-base macro game. Neither player can really afford going third CC, and given how aggressive both of them have played throughout this game, nor would you really want to put down a third CC at this point in time. So very similar anti-air defense here, very similar tank count. In fact, exact same tank count.
It's a very, very even game.
Look at the SCV count too. They're both very similar. A Raven. You barely ever see army compositions like this at this point in time.
Ooh, there goes that Banshee, but it does spot Polt's little attack here to the back rocks of where you normally take your third. And he's going to gear up with some tanks on the low ground. A lot of Vikings in the air for Dayshi, though.
This is the first time I've seen point defense drones in a TvT in a long time.
Yeah, since Heart of the Swarm almost.
But Dayshi had... Wait, oh, what? He put down a turret? So he's going to lose the air war, because I don't think he had enough energy for that point defense drone, so he's lost his reactor on his starport. That's actually huge at this point in time.
He's ferried some tanks into the main, but they are out of range. And with the Vikings, Polt has that extra vision, and the starport is gone!
And a tank drops down because it's Liberator. No more Vikings for Dayshi. Anti-air-wise, all he's got is this Viking that's getting repaired by the SVs, and he's doing a really good job of staying under these SVs without running in range of the tanks, but is the Viking going to stay alive?
No, it does get taken out, and that's Polt ruling the skies right now, and he's looking like he might be ruling the ground as well, taking out more of Dayshi's production. A barracks goes down.
Do you know what's really, really sad for Dayshi now? He has to scan every time he wants to see that army. And these tanks, they can just slowly move north here and keep on shooting into the main base.
So Dayshi's clutch at straws here is to try and make 2 starports in the natural, get up to try and take back the air, but...
Oh, he's not sieged! Oh! Immediate damage being done. That's a super supply depot too.
Yeah, super supply depot, so that is going to block Dayshi.
I really like the fact that he's throwing down so many starports, but too little too late, it feels. Polt's climbing ahead in supply. Positionally, look at this position. He can't get back into his main base.
And Dayshi can't make units. He's been heavily supply blocked here. And, I mean, I don't even think we're going to see anything produced out of those starports.
Oh, no.
Polt is already in the main, tearing apart Dayshi's infrastructure. And Dayshi's coming with a flank for the bottom, but it's not enough. GG! Polt takes a 2-0 lead in this TvT. Oh, and he is so upset with how this series is going so far. Not a happy camper.
We're seeing a man break down here. And, you know...
It feels horrible.
Yeah, I don't want to look. I want to close my eyes, like, make it all over now, you know. But Polt's playing incredibly well. Yes, he's also human. He also can make mistakes.
Yeah.
And this isn't like a flat out, hey, I'm just winning the game instantly.
That's a Terminator face right there.
But look how calm and collected he is in comparison.
Yeah.
This is the difference, the composure of both these players. And I'm pretty sure if you put Polt down 0-2, I'm pretty sure he'd look exactly the same. He just wants to win. Doesn't matter what situation you put him in, the goal's still the same. He still wants to win.
Absolutely. And Polt, he can smell it. That round of 8 so close. One more map away for the big money.
Oh, look
make
at this.
It on stage tomorrow.
This is a guy that, oh, in fact,
a bit
smiling.
Of
but that to me looks like a guy that's just frustrated.
It's all you can do is laugh, like one of those things, you know, when you're having the worst day of your life and you just get home, sit in that armchair, and you're like,
I love that quote. Is it from Gladiator? Like, death smiles at us all.
Yeah.
All I can do is smile back.
Yeah, I think so.
Love
you
that
like
movie.
a lot of really cool movies, by the way, Muslim.
Yeah,
we've just met each other for the first time in this event, and I think we've like got the exact same taste in films.
I'm glad you like Gladiator, man.
I love it, man. And are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? What a great TvT to start things off with. Really brutal emotions from Dayshi and some really horrifying sort of mid-games onwards for him, but those early games have been so close. I just want to believe. I want to believe. He seems like, you know, it just gets to that point when it hits the macro stage that Polt just starts to pick the right fights and just never slip.
Yeah, it's not even that Dayshi's falling behind a macro. We've actually seen him keep up / be better at the macro.
Yeah, actually, his
than
macro
Polt.
was better in game 1.
Right, exactly. And the decision making on like builds and such, he's obviously really, really good. The one thing that foreign Terrans fall behind on when it goes up against Korean Terrans is just positioning of tanks. It's a unit that cannot move, so positioning that well and positioning that perfectly are two very, very different things. And every time Polt places a tank, it's fulfilling a job. It's either saying, hey, you can't go here, or hey, I'm going to damage you here. Whereas a lot of Terrans, they'll place their tanks, they're like, oh yeah, I meant to siege it, right? It does more damage when it's sieged. Wrong. Well, no, you're totally right. But positioning it correctly...
That's a very strong wrong.
Yeah, positioning it correctly is a big, big deal. And every time Polt places a tank, it always has to serve a purpose.
Indeed. And a well-timed finish on that point there to Muslim in the bottom left here. In a rough spot, needs to win the 3 games to win this series. It is Millennium's Dayshi. And in the top right, 1 game away from the round of 8, it is Polt.
2-0 up currently, but Polt, it hasn't been easy, man. Both these games could have went very much so in the opposite direction, which is why a player like Dayshi, who is emotional, is probably acting so flustered, you know. But you saw it when a player visibly goes red in the face and his whole body, and he's turned to smiling and laughing at his situation, despite being so angry, you know they're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, indeed. It's like the insanity laugh.
It really is. And here in this game,
Yeah, Dayshi looks like he's going to be
Maynard, look at this production tab.
Yeah, that's...
Do you see this?
This is a kid that's like, I'm going to try and embarrass you in game number 3.
And, okay, do you know what makes this even worse? Look what Dayshi's doing on his side of the map. Let's look at his gases. What is missing on these gases, Maynard?
Refineries to Muslim.
And you're against Turax Reaper?
Rip.
R.I.P. Dayshi's soul.
Yeah, Sir
But
GG.
if he scouts it, though, like if he scouts this second barracks, he's going to go over to the natural and he's going to see.
Yeah, look in the back first. No CC, now he's going to be looking.
He's
patrolling.
I'd send an SCV over here just to pretend that I'm going for a CC. Because if he goes back in that base, it depends what he wants to do now. If he runs around here and he doesn't... He sees it. Okay, so what is Dayshi's response going to be? Because he has to get units out very, very quickly. And you see here, this SCV's waiting.
Yeah,
He's going to try and build
150.
the barracks.
There it is. So, yep, get his gas. He's got 2 barracks in his main, and he needs to make some defensive units, man, because there are the Reapers on the way for Polt, as we see in the production tab. And how far is Polt going to commit to this? Dropping a bunker on the ramp there. Smart, taking it very, very seriously.
I don't like the bunker placement. The one thing, and Funker's pointing it out here as a TvT player that, you know, on Europe, you get to play a lot of cheeses. A Reaper can jump up here and totally bypass that bunker. So this bunker doesn't really cover a large spot, and over here, so he has to spread out a lot here.
1 Reaper versus 1 Marine.
Oh no.
He's going to win that fight and go back and regen. I mean, the bunker is finished, but like you said, in a bit of an awkward position here.
One place that would have been better would have been lifting up the barracks, but that would have slowed down your production time, and placing a bunker where the barracks is, denying jump up from all those sections there. But we're going to see what Polt does. 3 Reapers. Now, this is quite a number to work with.
He's making 2 at a time still. He's going up to 5.
I love how Dayshi pulls SCVs. He knows he's in trouble here. But where does Polt come from? He comes from the ramp. He can't deal damage from here. But he is going to work on these depots. So this
the
is
bunker
giving
is out of
Dayshi
range.
time.
The bunker's out of range here, and he needs to come out with the Marines.
Ooh, that was a nice little jump out, actually, from that bunker. But Dayshi so far, while I didn't like the bunker placement, he's using it well, and he's playing smart from this point on. How is Polt transitioning? Because so far damage hasn't been done, and he's against a guy that went gasless expand.
So he's dropping the CC at the back, going for his expansion, and getting up to the bio army. Hold that thought. He's gotten into the main.
He has got into the main, and remember, Reapers, they are very different now. This is so vital. How do these Reapers deal damage, and how do you slow them down? 1 Reaper has fallen. These SCVs, are they going to get this around? They do not. They get away.
Oh, I
Look
nearly
at
got
Dayshi.
one there.
Dayshi's laughing. He's laughing at his situation.
That might be an FML laugh there from Dayshi.
This is
The
a
Reapers
man.
are still alive, and they're
no.
terrorizing his main here.
Oh no, this is not good. This is not good. I was about to quote Gladiator then as well. I was like, this is not it. Oh man, but Dayshi, yeah, that was a man that was laughing at how bad a situation he was in. Those SCVs weren't mining for a long time, and he had to get those Reapers, and they were not gotten. These Reapers, they are going to get damage done. What is this popping out? A tank? I mean, it's going to deal with the Reapers eventually, but if that guy gets hopped around, oh no! Is it going to happen?
Oh
is
my
it
god! Oh, he got a tank with Reapers! The KD8 grenade has...
Look at Daishi's face now. Oh no.
This is just the Reapers of Polt, the initial 5 Reapers that he made. There's only 3 left now, but they are winning him this game to Muslim.
Oh, I want to close my eyes, Maynard. I don't want to feel
Not
Daishi's
like
pain
this.
anymore.
Not like this.
No. Oh, now I'm quoting.
Now it's the Matrix.
It is coding every movie we can,
But Polt sees the code, man. He's
Dude.
inside this game and he is tearing Dayshi apart.
look at this. This was 5 Reapers getting into the base, and they're still dealing damage. And these bombs. This is a man playing with his food. 1,600 resources lost against the 350, and if we look at the worker count here, 40 to 26. Dayshi is in a bad spot.
It looks like Daishi's going to try and play this game out. I mean, it is, it is an elimination game that we're playing right now, so respect to him to try and play it out, but we cannot stress enough how far ahead Polt is right now. He has the siege tanks, he has the marine advantage, he's got stim, he's just...
Do you know what makes this whole situation worse? Dayshi just scanned this army. And you know, that scan was at the cost of not muling and trying to get himself back into this game. So, you know the whole line, like, seeing is believing? No, seeing is knowing you're dead at this point in time. 50 supply against 80. Polt, holy cow. You know, and if those Reapers didn't slip through those SCVs, we're talking a totally different game.
Absolutely, yeah. You can get punished so hard for double Rax Reaper if you get surrounded and taken down without killing too many SCVs, but unfortunately for Dayshi, too many SCVs have been killed. He knows about the medevac. He's semi in position. There is a tank as well, which is going to help out a lot.
And Polt upon dropping here. Now, if this was the 4th and 5th barracks, which is the 3rd and 4th barracks, that would be very scary, because what signifies a Terran that's in control? Not actual in control, but you know, in a good situation in the game, you go from 3 barracks to 5. But the fact that he's jumped up from 2 to 4 in a weird situation, that just shows what kind of disarray Dayshi is in at this point in time.
Oh my god.
Is he going to get his tank too?
I think he is.
Well, 5 Marines for a tank at this point in time. Totally worth it, mate. Totally worth it.
Absolutely, and that's a trade.
What is this?
That's Dayshi taking a hidden base just in case stuff goes sour and he can get a weird...
if you survive.
A gotcha sort of base at the back there. And yeah, you're right. Like, if you survive and that base goes undetected, you have that extra income. You've got to play it confused at, like, where is the extra resources? You shouldn't have this much. But, I mean, he needs time for this to work, and will Polt give him time?
If Dayshi is anticipating a situation where Polt is outside, like sitting at his 3rd base, then this is very smart. Okay, look at this Marine split.
How does he know?
I remember talking to you yesterday that you just have to have Marines everywhere on the map in TvT, and this is extremely hard to do and always have on the map, but if one of these little guys goes Christopher Columbus, oh my god, it's happening.
Christopher Columbus going to come up here as the CC, you know, finishes.
It's finished. Oh, as it finishes.
Ugh.
And Dayshi, I almost want the camera to just lock on his face again.
I don't know.
Yes, it locks on him.
Smiling.
And yeah, everything's gone wrong. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. And Dayshi, I smile with you, friend, because...
yeah, I'm smiling, but I'm also, like, crying as well.
Oh, my lord.
Oh, man. So Dayshi's coming out with a desperation push here. He's going to try and end the game with his attack, but Polt has the extra production. He's got way more barracks. He's got more units in general, and a 3rd. Dayshi is going to try and tap away those Black Rocks. He doesn't have enough medevacs for a Doom drop. In fact, Polt's Marines seize the army. The Sensor Tower just finishing now.
I tell you what, though, this is a good position.
It's a lovely spot.
Like, if he can get in here, he can deny mining at least half of it at this 3rd. His Marines don't have combat shield, but Polt is getting ready for defensive play. But the thing is, Polt's being very aggressive too, and this is 5 tanks. They're going to be outside Dayshi's base pretty.
This is an amazing drop in the main. Yeah, he's getting so many kills.
Really sick drop. And here, lots of tanks. Oh, Dayshi's not sieged. He's not sieged.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Tanks falling. No, no, no. Oh,
and now he's on top of the production with a lot of Marines and stim combat shield.
Polt is inside you right now, Dayshi. This is not going well. Your factory's also dying. You no longer have the ability to siege this back.
And the Starport's going to die with the medevac production. That's it for medevacs.
The only Marines you had inside your base to defend, they all get shelled down, Starport down, factory down.
And the
You're
Marines
still
are
on
doing
3
nothing here.
bases.
This has got to be it. Polt 70 supply up. All over Dayshi's production. It's starting to disappear. He's in the mineral line. He is, like you said, deep inside Dayshi right now.
Oh my gosh, and Dayshi apologizing. GG is called. Polt moves on with a 3-0.
He does indeed. So Polt is going to go to that round of 8. And not a lot of surprises, I would say, for Polt to win this series. But what a masterclass from that guy. He is looking like and playing like a champion.
He's really, really cool, man. We saw that Dayshi, he by no means played bad. We saw that it was him flicking a coin at sometimes it just land. It would be a coin landing on its side, you know. The fact those Reapers ran through there, the first game on Dust Towers, Polt just outmaneuvered him. It wasn't Dayshi playing bad, it was Polt just playing better.
Yeah, and that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And we got Polt going to the round of 8. Unfortunately, Dayshi excused for the tournament. And what an incredible start of the round of 16. Analysis desk, what do you think about that series?
We're gobsmacked with that result, Maynard. It was a brilliant performance by Polt as he goes through to the round of 8. And you guys called it. I mean, I tried to play a little bit of devil's advocate, but no, it wasn't. Couldn't build Dayshi hype train, could I? You both called 3-0 on the end. Jeff called a close 3-1.
3-1.
But at the end of the day, you were right. It was all Polt.
Did you actually think it was possible for me to be wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always do.
Well, that's
You're wrong.
I was on your side this time.
To be fair, we always think that.
We're a team over here on this side of the analyst desk.
At this divide. There's some space between us, Sean.
But it really was, as you predicted, so convincing. I started to believe in the French hype, but wasn't there. And what was the difference between them then? It was just the experience and the level of skill.
The easy
between them,
answer
right?
is that Polt is better than Dayshi, and Terran versus Terran in its current form, because you can't do something like mech and try to drag the game out and do some weird turtley stuff. You have to play the same as your opponent, pretty much to a T. Like, there's nothing in TvT that is better than Marine Tank Medevac. So if both players are doing that, the better guy is going to win. And
But Nate,
there's not
the other day
much
on your
else
stream,
to
I
it.
saw you beat Kalizer, TvT.
That's just wrong.
I saw you. No, I did.
You're literally making this up right now.
Yeah, it was after one of your broadcasts of the WCS.
You beat Kelazor in a TvT?
Yeah.
One of the better players meant to win?
Yeah, I 5-Rex Reapered him.
I'm not making this up. It's weird that I remember and you don't. I think you're pretending.
Definitely didn't actually beat him.
Anyways. I actually thought that series was interesting because at the beginning it felt like I'm not lying, bro. I'm like
man,
ashamed
I've got
that
a
I
list.
watched your stream and I remember this moment.
I have
you don't.
I have a golden folder of replays. I'm like, this is the game where I beat Jim Rising. This is the game where I beat Pig. This is the game where I beat Hydra. But there's no Kelazur replay in there.
You've beaten Polt before, though, right? Am I wrong?
No. Oh God! Quickest.
Did you 5-Rex Polt one time?
No.
Did you cheat?
I've never seen you pretend to be humble. This is really interesting. This is. I'm like a little bit.
I am proud of my games where I beat players that are better than me, but I have not beaten Kelazur.
Have you
Hey,
beaten
guys,
Polt?
can we enough about the caster Nathaniel,
Yeah.
please? Let's not make it all about
Okay,
him.
you can't make it all about me.
No, in that series, my comment that I want to make is I felt like we definitely saw it played out that Dayshi is that emotional player we're kind of talking about, where at the beginning, he was actually kind of okay. He was hanging in there with Polt. It was good first couple of games, but the wheels just fell off the wagon, and as the series went, it got worse and worse. If that was a 10-game series, I shudder to think what would happen in the 10th game. It would be like an SCV rush for Polt. Dayshi lifts up, but his building explodes anyways, and then the game is broken.
I mean, all credit to Polt. He played it incredibly well, and I think a lot of us, even though Polt has not been, or had results in Legacy of the Void yet, is a favorite to do well in this tournament. There's no doubt. He's going far in this tournament.
And I want to pose this question to you guys. With Polt crushing Dayshi, is it fair to say North American players are better than European? Like I'm putting out there what we're all thinking, and I want to know what you guys think. Brendan from Korea, please.
Was that ever a question?
Well, the imposter coming over to NA, it seems like he's taking the reins and he's doing a pretty good job so far. Yeah.
All right.
Nate, you agree with that, right? Americans are better?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's
I mean, that's a given.
what was that ever really a question?
It was. Anyway, we're
Yeah, I
gonna
just
move over
asked
to
it. It
Polt.
was a question right now.
It was a question. We're going to go over to Polt, who is with Red Eye. After a very successful 3-0 versus Dayshi, he finds himself in the quarterfinals. Hello, Red Eye.
Hey, thank you very much, Sean. Yes, we will pose those questions to Polt. And we'll also find out whether Nathan really has maybe played him or even beaten him. But to, just for fun, right?
Polt's there.
It's got to be done. Polt, congrats. Straightforward victory. Second time we've seen you in the winner's circle in 2 days, so everything is going really well for you.
Yeah, the score tells everything is going really well, but I don't know about the in-game the stuff.
Right, okay, so there's still stuff you think you need to work on.
Yeah, I was quite far behind in the first game because his strategy was really good and I was totally out of position. So I think I have to work on the early game a bit more.
Yeah, I had a question about the first game. First of all, of course, congratulations. Convincing victory in the end. But in game number 1, I was watching it backstage with one of the other players. And we often mention players' mindset, but we don't know that much about it. And the player that was next to me was saying, like, if Polt still wins this game, this is going to be a 3-0 guaranteed. Do you feel that as well? Like, if you're kind of losing game 1, or at least you're behind, but then you're turning it around and you still win, do you also look at it like, okay, if I win this game, there's probably no game I'm going to lose, or is that not something you think about?
I think it's true because I was really far behind, and one of the reasons is, yeah, of course he played well, but at the same time I didn't play well. Like I lost a lot of SCVs to his drops, but like I get hit by that. So in the next game, if he does the same thing, I'm sure I'm gonna adjust to that and gonna lose less SCVs, and that means if I win the first game, then I'm gonna win the rest.
Where do you think it really turned around? There was one big fight near your fort base on the low ground where I first felt like, he's catching the tanks off guard, but then suddenly your Marines came from the north side and I felt that was like one of the victories. Was there another moment that really stood out for you in game number 1 where you felt like, okay, now I'm turning it around?
Because I was just too far behind in the game number 1. Well, even after I killed like a lot of units, I was not sure like what situation I am in. So until like I killed this like last mining base, I wasn't sure.
Okay, and I have one more question, not so much related to this series, but I almost feel for the last 2 years now, you know, we always talk about it, fans and analysts, but like, yeah, Polt is still good at StarCraft, but he is not the untouchable Polt, he's not the invincible Polt he once upon a time was, and it's always like, maybe this European can beat him, or maybe this North American beat him, but then at the big offline events, you're always here and you always deliver. Like, if you hear stuff like that, if you hear people say like, well, Polt's good, but he's not as good as he used to be, what do you think?
I think I kind of like that. I mean, I enjoy like surprising people, and well, as we talked about before, like who brought it up, like the Team Liquid power rank.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with that, and you guys will see that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few players that disagree with that rank, Majors amongst them as well. I do want to ask you, you made a tweet yesterday saying thank you very much to Quartermaster. They've supported you for the last couple of years, and we've always known you, it seems natural to call you CM Storm Polt. It's become a thing. But you've now parted ways with them. You're now looking for a new team. So you're in the quarterfinals of WCS. You're 3 games away from making a place at BlizzCon. So what do you say to the teams out there right now?
Yeah, so me and Quartermaster now part ways, but I'm wearing this uniform as the farewell gift. So I think it's good for both of us, and because they have done a lot for me for the past years. And so now I'm looking for the new team, and well, everyone is watching this tournament and they will know how good I am.
Did someone just walk through the shot?
Yes, but don't go there, Paul. There's no need. No.
What an idiot. Polt, you were saying, come and get me, right? That's what you were saying to all the Cloud9s and the MV and TSM and all those big teams out there. You were saying, come and get me.
Well, I don't have to say that because they will come to me.
Hey! That's what I like. Confident Polt. Thank you very much, Polt. Congratulations. You are through to the quarterfinals. Our first member of the quarterfinal club, and still plenty more to come. 4 more matches from the round of 16 are on their way next.